Hi, my name is Karen Sheikh, and my topic was global warming. You might ask, what is global warming? Well, global warming is an increase in Earth's temperature due to the burning of fossil fuels. Some fossil fuels are coal, oil, and gas. Deforestation can also result in emission of large amounts of greenhouse gases to our atmosphere. There are some causes to global warming. A few things that causes are the burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, livestock, and the release of greenhouse gases. However, the concentration of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere is the major cause of global warming. These gases, especially CO2, have heat trapping capability, so the heat gets trapped and they cause the greenhouse effect, which makes our temperature rise. So you might ask, what is deforestation? Well, deforestation is the permanent destruction of forests in order to make the land available for other uses. Because of this, 18 million acres of forest are lost each year, according to our United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. By doing this, the more trees that are cut down, the more the air that can get polluted, because most of the acres become some sort of power plant that gives out greenhouse gases. It is also said that 15% of all greenhouse gases come from deforestation. Fossil fuels. A fossil fuel is a fuel formed by natural processes. They contain high percentages of carbon and include petroleum, coal, and natural gas. Some other commonly used gases include kerosene and propane. The United States Energy Information Admin estimates that in 2007, the world's primary energy sources consisted of petroleum, coal, and natural gas. What are some effects to global warming? There are numerous effects of global warming. Some of these are the rise in sea levels, droughts and floods, and the effects on wildlife and species, etc. As a result of these, there is a huge rise in sea levels because of the rise in temperature and the glaciers, and the polar regions are melting faster and faster. Also, because of the California drought, there have been multiple fires that have devastated the state. However, places that are more cooler and have more forests have more rain, and the more heavy rainfall becomes more flooding. Also, with wildlife and species, there have been species moving far north or far south to maintain their needed habitat. The effects on wildlife and species. The key impact of global warming on wildlife is habitat destructions, in which ecosystems, places where animals have spent millions of years adapting, like the polar bear, for instance. There have been numerous photos and images about ice caps melting, and the more them and the glaciers melt, the more extinct the polar bears will become. Habitat disruptions are often due to changes in temperature and water availability. For example, there's also the red fox. It is native to North America, but there have been photos and some seen in the Arctic. The reason for this is because their habitat was disrupted by global warming. Droughts and floods. With flooding, there has been an overall increase in annual precipitation in the U.S. The EPA has recorded a general increase of 5% precipitation in the United States since 1901. Also, with droughts, in California, their droughts have been wreaking havoc all over and destroying homes and buildings because of the fires. Also, even some parts of Hawaii has seen a decrease in precipitation. There are some ways you can prevent global warming. One way is to use renewable energy. You could choose a utility company that uses at least half its power from using wind or solar energy. Like, there is an organization called Green-E Energy. They vet renewable energy options like wind and solar. However, if you cannot do that, on your electric bill, nowadays, the utilities list ways to support renewable sources on their statements and also websites. You should also invest in energy-efficient appliances because in 1987, the standards for dozens of appliances and products have kept 2.3 billion tons of carbon dioxide gas out of the air. That is equal to the amount as the annual carbon pollution that came up by nearly 440 million cars. Another big way that you could prevent global warming is to eat the food you buy. About 10% of the U.S. energy goes into growing, processing, packaging, and shipping food, and about 40% of it ends up in the landfill. If you do this, you are wasting less food and cutting down on energy consumption. You might ask how chemistry applies to the environment. Well, the way that chemistry applies in the environment is that it focuses on the presence and the impact of chemicals in soil, surface water, and groundwater. This is important because these chemists study how contaminants move through the environment and our water. They also study the effects of these contaminants on the ecosystems, animals, and human health. Environmental chemistry is socially important because it deals with the environmental impact of pollutants, the reduction of contamination, and management of the environment. Environmental chemists all study the behavior of pollutants and their environmental effects on the air, water, and soil environments, as well as their effects on human health and the natural environment. A job that would relate to this topic is an environmental chemist. However, there are some classes that you might want to consider taking if you decide to become this. Some electives that you might want to take are organic and inorganic chem, and physical and analytical chemistry are good things to take if you want to become an environmental chemist. Some majors that you might want to do is biochemistry and chemical oceanography. However, there is one crucial trait you want to have, which is the ability to talk to people, communication, because you need to use teamwork and skills like this to get your job done efficiently. This type of job is in a rather broad field because of that reason, with a lot of different work in it. However, if you love to be outside and you love to work outside, then you should do field research. However, if you want to be the one running the research, you will need a PhD and lots of lab experience. So, my summary is that our greenhouse gases are accumulating in Earth's atmosphere as a result of human activities, causing surface air temperatures and ocean temperatures to rise. The changes observed over the last several decades are most likely because of human activities. There are multiple ways to stop this, but a big factor is conserving energy throughout people's daily lives. Throughout the years, temperatures have been rising, and places either become more dry, like California or Nevada, or more wet, like New Zealand and Colombia. Therefore, there are multiple things happening that are leading to this change of climate, but there are a number of ways that we can slow down the time of how fast it's happening. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.